I'm Christine, and today I'm here with special guests TimH and Jack H-O-W-A-R-G. Jack
I just say the whole word. I just say the whole word. I don't say letters.
They're both from England, if you don't know them.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, Tim's been living in LA for a while now, so he just sounds like he's from not England.
They are.
You fucking change, man.
So today we are discussing the movie Paper Towns.
How long ago did you read Paper Towns?
2010.
Oh, wow.
It's my favorite John Green book. I liked it more than Fault in Our Stars, the book, but I like The Fault in Our Stars, the movie, more than Paper Towns.
I kind of place them both in a very similar category of just like fine. Like
It's just like, okay.
Because I'm somebody who hasn't read the books, so I'm completely objective from just the film, and that's okay, isn't it? We're all okay with
it's
that.
all fine. It's all good.
They'll have an issue.
Well, have you read any John Green's books, either of you?
Nope.
I've read, nope.
So John Green has
Like, I was
this
gonna
really
be
fun writing style. It's just stream of consciousness, and it's comedic, and it's also moving and relatable. It's beautiful. Paper Towns didn't affect me the same way the book affected me, while Tiffio's felt exactly like the book to me.
Right.
I'm probably closer to what Christine. I think The Fault in Our Stars is a stronger film than Paper Towns.
So let's start from the beginning. I didn't remember that there was a dead body in the beginning of the book.
That was so strange to me. That entire sequence just felt like a big intro with them becoming friends, and then it didn't even feel interrupted. It was like the tone didn't change at all, and there was just a body there, and I was like,
yeah, it was too
what's
happy.
going on? Like it was like so odd, and like immediately I should have like taken that as a warning to be like, the tone of this film is going to be a bit off. Like it's just going to be a bit weird sometimes.
And it wasn't as creepy as it could have been.
It was just there. There was no reveal. It was just like,
it was just there. I feel like in the book, maybe that's what led me to believe that it was foreshadowing that she had maybe killed herself, and that she was leading him to her body. That's what I was thinking when I was reading the book. I was like, wow, this is really dark. This is really interesting. And then it kind of is an anti-climax when they just find her. What would you say is your favorite part of the movie? The road part? The road trip?
Absolutely the road
trip?
part. Yeah. I think a lot of it for me felt a bit flat, and the bit in the car when they were all really starting to get to know each other, the acting was on point, the dialogue was really natural. They all seemed like real friends, and I really enjoyed that.
I was hoping that would be the entire
well.
movie, like a big road trip, because that's the best part of the book. And I know you were complaining about the maps. And the maps with the 1 hour later.
The sort of the visual sort of slates.
Yeah. And like, I didn't really like the way that was done, but because they did the 1 hour, 2 hour, I was like, oh, nostalgic. It's just like the book and my favorite part, you know?
I think the way I sort of felt about the whole film, but then especially what we're talking about with the road trip stuff, was the perfect version of this film probably takes and changes more stuff from the book than they did. I don't know if that's accurate from your point of view as someone who's read it. I think they would need to be more brutal in the adaptation process and really like emphasize the road trip.
In the book, I remember it was something I wanted to play in real life. They played Metaphysical I Spy. So they'd be like thinking of something, and it would be like their hunger. You couldn't see it, it was just something, and it was a really fun game that they played. This part in particular, I didn't like the way they did it. When they ran into the gas station and it was timed and they all had their special things, I wish they talked about it first and then you saw them doing it in like a ridiculous way. Not
I think that like,
I think it would have been funnier.
A lot more development to be done for those characters. Like I liked them all pretty much. Like overall, I didn't hate anybody in that car. I think the only person I didn't really like was Margot, which I'm sure we'll come to in a second. I just wanted to spend more time with them, and I completely agree with you, Tim. I think that like more time, and you as well, Christine, that like more time should have just been the road trip, and it should have absolutely been a road trip movie. I feel like you would have felt like there was more of a journey there if there really was a journey.
I kept waiting for them to like sing a song together in the car.
I guess in my mind I'm like, yeah, you could have elongated all the clues to be over the course of the road trip. Like she could have been leaving stuff at different places.
Yeah.
And then that way you extend the road trip, and it's more of like where will they drive to next, and like that. And then I think that way you'd have gotten more of that time with all of those characters.
I can see that would be cool.
Margot is controversial in the movies and in the books. By the end of the book, I understood what John was trying to do with her. He was in love with the idea of her.
I really like that the movie is essentially just an unpackaging and a dissecting of the manic pixie dream girl, but she still is one. The dialogue at the end where she like reveals like it was everybody's fantasy. It's all like I'm just this, I'm just that. Felt very on the nose. She didn't need to say all of it. Like we got the idea that like everyone's just misinterpreting who she is. But at the end, to me, she still was this manic pixie dream girl that everyone was sort sort of idolizing. Like, if the end line of the movie was just like, wherever she is, whatever she's doing, I hope that she's happy, I would have been like, that's some development, that's some growth. But really, he said, whatever she's doing, I'm sure it's something incredible.
Something awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, well, you're still idolizing the idea of this person. It doesn't feel like any growth has been done. I like the idea of what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, the thing with Margot, I don't understand how she ran away all these times. Does she have a credit card when she was like 9 years old? When she escaped to the circus? Like, what is going on?
What I really wanted, though, I wanted the reveal to be that, like, she just goes, oh, I never escaped to the circus, I never did any of that stuff. That was all just stuff that people made up about me. It was never true.
But even so, like, where was she in a hole homeless? Where was she in this safer town? Was she staying in a hotel? Did she have an apartment? Did she have a job?
She goes and sits for a while.
Yeah, we saw it with our friend Dom. He's great, and when she like goes, oh, I like to come here and just read. He was like, if I was in that movie, I would have been like looking at the camera, going, so, just time out for a second. I'm sorry, I don't know how long you've been here. I've been here for a while. What?
She works herself up by creating the mysteries. So she, like she said, she hypes up herself.
She could have just like, I mean, I know it's not the point.
She could have said that, like, I'm fine, leave me be.
Yeah, right?
No.
And I know it ruins the sort of the mystery of the whole thing, but like, she's just like, oh, I didn't think you'd be here. It's like, well...
Yes, you did!
Why did you leave all these...
Why did you leave breadcrumbs then?
Like,
I know.
And it's like, oh, it's just so you know I'm fine, but they lead specifically to you.
Yeah.
Like, when I read the book, I was so bummed when I got to the end.
Right, so did you think that she was going to be dead then?
I thought she was either going to be dead or it had to be something nice. It was not going to just be like, oh, sorry, I was just like chilling.
Yeah, maybe that's what's quite nice, is that like it is supposed to be quite underwhelming. And
Yeah.
like there is no big gesture.
Like I
But at the
understand
same time,
in the scope, but in the build.
I think in a way I would rather like the clues, like, but she didn't really know much what he was talking about. Like I'd rather like the clues were sort of him misinterpreting more.
Yeah.
Like, but they weren't. Like
Yeah.
she was doing that.
It
So-
wasn't reading into it that much that it could be what he was thinking.
Exactly. Yeah.
In the book, I feel like we felt more concerned for her well-being. Like she could have committed suicide.
I kind of got the impression that she might. Before it was revealed, I thought that maybe the reveal is going to be that she's like super, super depressed, and that she is going to like...
Yeah, I think
like,
that
or
would
like
have
he's going to find her like in the middle of doing
helped
it or
the
something.
film in a way. Because you kind of feel like she has no motivation for what she's doing at the end. She's just there. She's just left. I liked her sister. I thought that little girl was a good actor.
Yeah.
It was funny because I thought that was a moment where I actually thought... It was the money thing that I found actually a little weird. I thought that he was going to connect to her by saying, hey, you know how Margot always leaves clues?
Yeah. No,
That's
you
what
would
we're
think
looking
that
like
she's
that
her
would have,
sister
because
if
like
does that.
she established that she does that with her sister, and I thought that would have been a nice moment
She
between
also
them
said
where
she
she's like,
talks
Margot's
to her.
leaving her usual clues, that's why I want to go into her bedroom. And like, as opposed to like the
But also,
sassy
like,
sister
her
receiving money.
sister, like, it's revealed that her sister's talking to her
Every day. So how does she not know that they were in her room looking for clues?
Yeah, and also at the same time, like, if she's talking to her sister every day, the sister should just go, I've been talking to her, she's fine. Like, if you're this little bitch, like, if I went home, I'd be like, you stupid, I spent so much money travelling to find her, and you fucking knew? You knew that she was fine? Prom. They introduce this form of tension in the film that, like, they have to get back for prom. They all want to get back for prom, and they don't want to miss prom, and prom's important to them. There's no, like, sort of get back. It's just...
Yeah, they kind of leave it.
They just kind of leave and go. And also, they just leave their friends stranded. And
that would never ever happen with real friends. I don't think you'd ever because that does not happen.
Especially
in the book.
after a speech going like,
Yeah.
would Margot do this
like,
for you?
He's really
Bye.
upset. He's really upset. They're like, well, we have to go to prom, so bye. 22-hour trip for you. Like,
It brings you to like other scenes as well where you're just, you know, I mean, I brought this up when we first came out of it. There's a few scenes that are just weirdly staged. The one I keep jumping back to is there's a moment where they're having a conversation literally in someone's bedroom.
the eyebrow scene.
They're talking whilst someone is sleeping. It's not introduced as like tense, like he could wake up. It's just the
He's
entire
a heavy
conversation,
sleeper.
and it just takes
Where
you out
are
of it.
his parents? That's what I was concerned about. Like, why doesn't he have parents? He's like a grown man that goes to high school.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the strongest thing about that, because we've been quite inherently sort of like negative.
Negative,
Like,
yeah. Like, I don't hate the movie. I just want to lay that out there.
I thought it was
enjoyed the movie.
I thought it was okay.
Fine.
I really enjoyed the sort of John Hughes elements about it. Like, I'm a massive fan of John Hughes. All the speech at the end, nobody has their, like, all that sort of stuff, no one has their miracles, all that sort of, like, learning a lesson felt very Breakfast Club. Especially with all three of them, like, meeting with their
Yeah, it was
cars.
like-
I would have loved a shot of just like, get out out the road! Just like someone was like, move! I really liked all the humour in it. Like, not all of it, like, not all of it works.
The one with the
some
three
of it works
boys
really well.
really worked.
Yeah,
I love the t-shirts. That's in the book,
That
and
was
it
really
was
funny.
hilarious.
The bit
and
where
it
he
came out really
pees
good.
in a can.
Yeah.
That was really funny. I was like, it's a bit Dumb and Dumber, and then it went to a different place, and I was like, that was funny.
Yeah.
Just a lot of it really worked, and it felt very natural.
The three boys were very funny.
They were
overall,
great.
and
I
they,
think
they
their
bounced off each
chemistry
other
was
really
great,
well.
yeah.
A performance that I wasn't as sold on was
Margot's best friend.
Margot's best friend.
Lacey.
There we go.
The one that's hot, that doesn't want to be called hot, wants to be called clever, and then she just says, I am clever, and then that's the only time it's ever talked about.
Yeah, it's one of those cases of the screenwriters tell us that she's clever, but nothing she actually does is clever.
We need to make her more complex.
She'll just explain that she is.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that the Black Santas
So funny.
were involved.
Very funny.
It was very funny. It was very funny in the book. I feel like in the book we got more of it, and it always worked in the book. And I feel like I wish we saw them go see the parents for the first time. Angela and Radar, or just go.
Those
to the
two
house.
were my favourite characters.
Yeah, they were great.
Their chemistry was excellent. She especially was very natural. Really, really convincing.
And did a lot with very little.
Like that wonderful shot when they're like on the blanket together and then they kiss and you know it's implied that they're going to have sex. Like that to me was just like completely brilliant. Actually, I remember specifically thinking, I want to see this film. This is the film I want to see. About these two.
I love the scene when he tells the guys the next morning, and he's like, don't tell her, I said anything. And they walk in, 5 seconds later, he's like, I told them!
Yeah. And then there's the handing over of money.
Yeah.
Really great joke.
Every time he did that joke, he was just constantly being honest with her, overly honest, and it was always funny.
Something that really worked was when he was just being like, look, okay, I've worked really hard for prom, like, she's going to kill me if prom doesn't go right. And then, like, he does it in front of her, and then she just goes, prom's really important. Like, it's always just him. Like, it was so
he went
great.
on and on about it. Yeah. He's like, you don't understand. It takes like basically all day. Like, we need a whole 12 hours early.
I thought that Cara Delevingne did a pretty good American accent.
In one of John Green's videos, she just does the American accent the whole time, and I just thought she was American.
Right.
And then at the end, she starts her British accent, and I was like, why is she faking a British accent? She's American. But it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was just English.
There's a bit where she goes, I need to borrow your car.
Yeah.
Like,
She said, and the line's repeated multiple times, so it
Yeah.
like emphasizes the scene where she's really trying, like, no, and as I said, I need to borrow your car. Like, she's really doing the R, like it's an American R.
I think it goes with like her being a manic pixie dream girl
it's
or whatever.
really like mysterious.
But at the same time, that like the dialogue that she says, especially in the first act, is very fake. It's like no one would ever talk like that, and I'm sure it was done on purpose to make him feel like he was like making it feel like she was doing these sort of amazing things and saying these amazing things. When she says things like, "Oh, isn't it sad that all the strings inside of him like?"
Yeah,
broke?
when she's as a kid. Yeah.
And like, and the stuff she says, like the way you felt tonight, that's the way you should feel your whole life. And it's just like,
who are you?
Stop talking.
In the book, they have this amazing scene where they go to SeaWorld. And I don't remember what happens, but it was really funny. And they had to cut it out because SeaWorld is mean to animals.
Right, yeah. Where was John Green?
Yeah, where was his cameo? I was waiting for it, and it's not a
I
visual
saw
cameo.
Fault in Our Stars, dude. He had a cameo.
Ansel Elgort had a cameo. I laughed. That was fun.
Yeah,
I didn't know
went,
he was going to be in there. That was a big surprise. The whole theater was like, ah!
Yeah, although I did think he was given a weird line. Do you like dragons?
Do you like
yeah,
dragons? It was
dragons.
kind of
Like,
awkward.
that's not a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's because she's kind of like, eh? Like, it's not, that's not...
Well, he was like kind of hitting on her. It wasn't like, it was
Yeah.
just a weird awkward
Yeah.
scene. It was just cool to have him in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was funny.
I would have preferred if the
He didn't
shopkeeper.
die.
I would have preferred if the shopkeeper was John Green.
I would have too. I would have
Yeah.
preferred anyone was John
Yeah.
Green. Like, if
I
her
think,
best friend
I
was
think
John
the
Green,
best
I'd
friend,
be
the
okay.
hot girl, was John Green.
Would have been really good.
Like not even like in a wig or anything, just John Green.
Every character should have been John Green.
John should do that. That dream sequence where she comes in like Little Red Riding Hood and like kisses him on the cheek.
Is that
and
in the book?
No, it was just so random and out of
That
the
to
blue.
me felt like they were really
It's
pushing
just they
that
were
like
stretching
he's
it.
projecting this sort of person. He's doing it.
Yeah.
They were really pushing
But I
that.
don't think we needed it. I think we could have had something cooler to replace it, like more road trip.
I agree. I think more road trip. I think I was already bored of like seeing him go back to that friggin' hole, and like Dom rightly pointed out as well. It was like if it was him and he came to that hole, it was like,
I'm done.
well, I guess she's never coming back. Just leave.
Like, I would have happily seen stuff like that first party have something to do with them stopping on the way to on a road trip, spending more time with all 5 of them, and like
Seeing them have
like,
experiences together.
Yeah, like
Whilst going to get
again, it's like because
even seeing each of those 4 stops and what happens at the because they're like we're allowed to stop 4 times.
Like if they took the map and then they put a pin in wherever she'd been.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just those like it's so much easier to kind of look at something something and go, this is what they could have done.
After they've done
after
it,
it's done.
yeah.
But like, you can't help but do that.
You know, usually when a movie is at its finest, it is like one of those things where you go, of course that's the story, of course that's how it goes. You just are kind of surrendered to like the really great narrative, whereas this was a film where I kept having this sense of like, I wanted it to be better than it was. It's by no means bad, I think it's a good film, but I kept wanting it to be better, and I kept seeing a better movie in my head, and I think that speaks to it.
I think the direction was sort of like voiceless. I think it felt very sort of like standing back and just
watching
it didn't feel like it had any style. It felt very sort of very standard. It felt like a more special story than what the way it was presented.
Needed a stronger point of view.
We have to talk about the end, which was really different from how the book ended. The book kind of felt like it didn't end. It had one of those cut-off endings that you see a lot with the contemporary books. We got to Margot. I remember him finding her laying in those grasses. You know how all the wheat was there when we went there? She was there, so he found her. Like, she was just laying in the grass. I remember thinking, like, where is she sleeping? Like, where has she been living for 3 weeks? And they kind of just talk, and then the end. There's no prom.
Do you remember what the final sort of like...
Is it
him learning?
It was him like thinking the lesson. The lesson was great. It was just like, you know, it was the manic pixie girl thing. It was like, oh, he was in love with, you know,
nothing.
Just an idea, and it's like she's just a girl. Blah blah blah.
And you know what the thing is as well about that is that like the writers did 500 Days of Summer. They've already done that lesson so perfectly and so sort of like subtly that what they've done is they've done it again but not as good.
With the end, I don't know, I liked the fact that we went back home and saw the prom just because it felt like more a bookend. But it did feel kind of cheesy. You know when he walks in slow motion?
Very 80s.
Yeah,
That's what I mean like John Hughes. It felt very 80s. And I'm cool with that.
Didn't he look like Evan when he made those expressions at the end? Like... I was like, that is like exact Evan expression.
It was the dance. It was the points.
It was weird.
The last line of the movie about like Margot, I was like, oh man, he's still completely idolising her. He hasn't really learned anything.
Well, he's a teenager, he'll learn. He's half learning. And then he'll get the learn when he's like 21.
Right.
Yeah, he'll get there. Quentin, cute. When she said cute the first time, I thought she said cute. Yeah. His name's cute.
Yeah. I kept thinking he was calling her cute as well.
Because he never actually said my name.
She was calling him cute.
Quentin. But overall, what would be your grade for this movie?
Grade?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G? E, F. Sorry, there's no G.
So what's the lowest grade? An F?
F.
I'd give it a straight up C. Yeah.
Like a 75 or like a 70?
If I was going to rate it on percentage, it'd be like 60%.
Well, that's a D.
It's a D then.
Oh.
It's like bang in the middle for me. Like,
that's not the middle.
It's like a 3-star movie.
3 stars.
If you got a D on a test, it's a fail.
It's like
I think if you'd say it's like a 3-star film, I'd say it's more like a C+ or something, right? Like.
See, yeah, I mean,
I don't do American
it doesn't translate
grades.
the same. Don't look at stars. Think about grades like a test.
We didn't do that.
Yeah, we didn't do those.
God.
Like I've done those since moving here, but like.
You're ruining my grading system.
All I've ever give it.
I would give it a B-.
I must admit,
so
I must
like
really
an
confess, in the last video when we were just doing reviews, I was just arbitrarily assigning things. I was just kind of like, she'd be like, this is a B. I'd be like, if I liked it less, I'd be like, B-. Like, I would just guess. That's a confession for last week's video.
I'd give Back to the Future like an A+.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I'd give Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging, which is the worst movie I've ever seen. I'd give that like a friggin' F. I don't know if I ever did make it through. So this movie is...
C is the middle.
It's probably...
It didn't fail, right?
No, it's like a
That's
C. It's a C. It's
okay.
a C movie.
And it's a B- for me, which isn't too far from a C, but it's a little better because
I'll
I
go
did
around the
enjoy
middle.
some parts.
C+. I'll give it that.
Yeah, okay, so...
It's not The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
No, it's not.
That
But if you
one
haven't
was
seen The
really-
Perks of Being a Wallflower, that is like the perfect sort of teen movie, and it's the most sort of like modernised version of the sort of John Hughes sort of angsty
See, I feel like they felt more angsty than John Hughes. John Hughes has more humor usually.
Yeah, I think so too.
Perks was
But
definitely more
wow,
angsty.
John Hughes has got so much angst in his movies.
Yeah, but it's balanced out more.
Yeah, I mean, it depends who you're talking about. Ferris Bueller, a lot of humour, a lot of silliness.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller is beautiful.
And Breakfast Club, a lot of angst, a lot of like, but weird as well.
Yeah,
a lot
it's
of
weirder,
angst.
but it's still not as angsty as Perks.
Perks is, yeah.
Perks is like
It's very drama.
angst and drama. That's why I didn't like it as much. Like, I'd say Fault in Our Stars is funnier than Perks. And Fault in Our Stars...
People die.
I know! It was fun. I'd say see it definitely. I mean, like, if you like John Green's books, obviously you're gonna see it.
I think it's worth seeing, but like, don't rush to go to the big screen. Like,
I feel like they've already rushed. I mean, like,
oh yeah,
they're book fans. If you haven't read the book, read the book. First read the book. First read it. Read the book. Read the book. Okay.
Tell them to read the book again.
I don't think that... Could we ham on that a little more?
book is beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys. Please share your thoughts on the movie.
I want to hear what you have to say. I want to have like a discussion about
let
it.
us know what
I'll come into the comments and have a little chat because I love chatting about movies.
Yeah. And obviously, needless to say, if you loved it, that's great.
Wait, I'm
Where
jealous
was Sean
of you.
Green's cameo? That's
Yeah, I
what
want to know
know
that.
too.
Yeah, in a way, I'm jealous of you. If you really enjoyed it, that means you had a nicer time than me. Like, that's cool.
I had a nice
wrong.
time though. I enjoyed it. I felt the book not translating when I was watching it. I was like, oh, this is, I see it, but it's not working. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you next time. I'm Christine.
And I'm TimH.
And I'm Jack Howard.
Bye!
Oh, we have to go down now?
Yeah.
No, I did this last time. I have to go
Just
down this
cut
way.
this
I'm just going to walk off. La.
Like we...
Okay. Wait, I'll pop up at once and say hello, and then I'll introduce you guys
Okay.
like when your face is already showing.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello! Oh God! I told you last time to say hello.
Are we going to say hello?
Say
Now we have to bend down
It's
again?
not like easy, is it? Like this is my second video and I still can't do it.